Hello, everybody. My name is Kyle639. Welcome back to another video. I'm here with,
Jefferson Dulaney.
and
I just got sixth at Lubbock, at the Lubbock YCS. 8 rounds of Swiss. All I played was basically fire. Um, One point in time during the tournament, I went through a gauntlet of well-known players. It's kind of irrelevant, but it was a tournament, that's for sure. I ended up going X1-1. I lost to Sacco, and then I tied with Mr. Santiago behind the camera. But overall, it was a pretty good tournament. Better than the Albuquerque one that happened the weekend before. All I did was gain a few extra points because of the tie, but changed a few lists. And then shout outs to my boys at the 505. Shout out to the sponsors, the Game Metro, SK. Shout outs to Chris and Santi, main testing partners. We kind of decided that Snake Eye was just going to be the best overall. Besides Santi doesn't like
fuck Snake Eye. No, no.
Snake Eye, but
Cool. All right.
all right, so we're gonna get into it. I played hand trap deck. So I played 3 Ash, 3 Ogre, 3 Mourner, 2 Baylor, and 1 Nib. Nib sucks this format. Everyone's playing around it, and even if you nib them, it feels like it doesn't do anything. Every Snake Eye list plays Field Spell, and they always search Field Spell most of the time off of it, so Nib never gets its value. The reasoning behind these and all these, the main three of, they all kind of deal with Tempai, and I felt like that was kind of my only loss last week was just the Tempai. Baylor doesn't hit Tempai like at all. Mortar's also cool because you can use it during your turn, and same thing with Ghost Ogre. Ghost Ogre drawing it as your sixth card isn't even bad. There was a lot of times where I actually had to save these two cards for my turn, and it was able to OTK through their board, even though I had hand traps, but I decided not to use them. So they didn't get their value out of their talents, their crossouts, or anything like that, and then these just kind of blow out the board sometimes. And I said, this is a little weird. It is a once per turn, but I'd rather have cards that do stuff into Tempai than don't. So that's my hand traps. I mean, obviously there's going to be another one later on, and then the 1 card engines, which are Snake Eye Ash and Diabellstar. Shockingly, I drew all these every game, all three of them. Actually, it was like the last 3 rounds. I drew 3 of them constantly. It was annoying with no Diabellstar, and then half of the tournament was just Diabellstar. So I got to play, so that was cool. The 2 Pops, the 2 Flamebirds, and the Snake ID Bellstar, and the Oak. Pretty standard, nothing too major. I always cited one of these out because it's not good. Going second. Yeah. The 3 Bonfire, the 3 Wanted, and then the two of these. Pretty standard. Nothing to complain about. This card's insane, especially with Snake ID Bellstar. Everyone should know that by now. And then this is my anti-hand trap. So we played the 2 Talents, the Called by the Grave, and then the 3 Crossout. 3 Crossout, that's the only reason why Nib's in the deck, is just in case if people are playing Nib. This just hits the one of Nib. Nib never came up. I never would have preferred Nib. Obviously, having 2 hand traps and Nib is pretty good, but there are times where 2 hand traps should just beat them anyway. And then the last three, which are the Imperm. I mean, it's Imperm.
Ooh. Anything you would change about the main deck?
Uh, I don't know. I hate some of these cards. I hate some of these. I drew these 2 cards together all the time. These 3 cards together all the time. I don't know why. I made sure to power shuffle, but these cards kind of just suck. But this card's good with field spell, so you have to play it. And then the main deck total is 41. I threw in the third Moonlit Chill last second because I decided more hand traps the better, and I want to double hand trap people if I can. And if not Moonlit, like I said, it still has some value on your turn, even if it's not the greatest. Next is side deck. Side deck's a little wonky. If you can't tell, my testing group and I, we decided to have wonky ratios. But we got the 3 Cosmic and the Feather Duster. Covers most matchups. I played against a Fire King Snake Eye, and then I Cosmic him. It didn't matter because all I did was draw non-engine, so it was kind of irrelevant, but it's cool. And then against any back row decks, it's important. The board breakers for Mirror Match, which is Change of Heart and Mind Control, and then the 2 Bells. Uh, my side deck ratio is a little weird. I sided in 5 cards the majority of the time versus mirror matches. Bells, I once again kind of held it for my turn. So if they're playing Kashtira, Snake Eye, you just bell their birth, and that's the way they beat you most of the time. Or you bell their Flamebird so they don't get their princess, because a lot of times they only leave the Flamebirds on field. And if you bell their Flamebirds at the right time, they don't have a fire to summon off the princess. So sometimes that's just really cool. The Bestials, because light and dark decks are everywhere. And then 2D barrier, like I said, Tempai kind of sucks, but uh, it's good against it. And then the Judgments. Interesting. This is where Stanzi was playing evenly. You get blown out by evenly 90% of the time, and we wanted something to answer it. And so this was basically the answer to board breakers or anything like that. Once again, Tempai, a lot of the times I just save this for the last card or anything that really threatened my board, and Judgment would just check 90% of my matchups. It won me 3 or 4 games alone. Like, I just set up a subpar board, but, even subpar board with Snake Eyes still beats 90% of decks. All right, extra deck is Relinquished Anima. You kind of have to play Link Rego's Band. Phoenix, it's a fire. That's the best part, and it helps deal with back row. You kind of have to play it. We were debating on cutting it, but at the same time, back row is probably the biggest issue with this deck, of course. IP Dark Hita, SP, the best card to go into, and then I played Pit Knight early. This used to be no, it used to be the big boy rank dude that if they summon Typhon.
Oh, Typhon.
Typhon. I figured it out. We got this. It just never came up in the Albuquerque regional, and I just wanted something else that did something. I used it once or twice. Sometimes it can be a detriment because you see it and you're like, I want to do cool plays, and then it just makes your board subpar. But it's also because I don't play Snake Eye that often. Then I played Promethean Princess, of course, and Saloon. Those were my Link 3s. They're just extenders. Then the 4s, which is Access Code, Zelantis, Apo. This card should be banned. No reason for this card to be alive. This dude to pair alongside the Zelantis and that. He's cool. I played Underworld. Just linking off of your opponent's cards sometimes just ends the game, especially with Kashtira's and stuff like that. Like, summoning this into a board, or when they're trying to out your board, it can just out like 5 to 6 cards on its own for no reason. And then the Titanic, just ending on that filled with like Judgment is just game. Yeah.
Cool. All righty. Congratulations. Thank you so much for watching the video, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.